Our next justification is the definition of a right angle. So if I asked you, what is a right angle? Define it for me. You would say, it's an angle whose measure is 90 degrees. So if I tell you angle A is a right angle, then your next step you can say, oh, well, if it's a right angle, then the measure of angle A has to be equal to 90 degrees by the definition of a right angle. And then, like all definitions, they're true in both directions. So the converse of that is also true. If the measure of angle A is 90 degrees, if you know an angle's measure is 90 degrees, then you're allowed to say, oh, that means that angle has to be a right angle. Sorry, someone's at my door, and so I'm going to tell her that I'm making a video. One second. Making a video. Okay. I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. So, the definition of a right angle says if your angle is a right angle, then the measure is equal to 90, or vice versa. If the measure of the angle is 90 degrees, then it's a right angle. So, your reason would be definition of a right angle. Let's take a look at this proof. It says in our given, angle JKL is a right angle. That's our given. So, because I know it's a right angle, I'm allowed to say that its measure is 90 degrees. This justification is the definition of a right angle. Then I notice in step 3, in statement 3, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals the measure of angle JKL. That's the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals the whole enchilada, measure of angle JKL. I am adding the two parts together to make them equal to the whole thing. Part plus part equals whole. I'm adding angles, adding angle, addition, postulate. So this justification is, that is the angle addition postulate. Part plus part equals whole, adding angles together, etc., etc. And so now, notice, it repeats itself. It repeats itself. I have 90, and then I have measure of angle 2 plus measure of angle 1. I use 3 colors. 3 starts with the letter T. T for transitive. Remember, I can sandwich them together. If measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 equals measure of angle JKL, and measure of angle JKL equals 90, then I can say in step 4, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90. And that's the transitive property. And because I know now that these two angles, measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2, their sum is 90 degrees, what does it mean for two angles to have a sum of 90 degrees? It means they're complementary. So I'm allowed to say angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary angles, and that reason is that's the definition of complementary angles. That's what it means for angles to be complementary. Their sum is 90 degrees. If they add together to equal 90 degrees, then I can say that they're complementary. So, definition of a right angle means if it's a right angle, then its measure is 90 degrees, or vice versa. If its measure is 90 degrees, then it's a right angle.